Okay, this fly is a super simple fly just with a tail and two dubbing materials, but it can kind of be a pain in the butt. But if you want a fly that's small that still gets down, kind of like Brigham, check it out.
That's a big brown.
Okay, this is Roza's French bomb. So instead of putting a slotted bead on this fancy jig hook, I'm going to use one of these tungsten bodies. Now, I can't really even show it to you until it's like lashed on the hook because they're kind of squirrely. So first things first, as you can see, there's a little notch on the bottom of this thing. It's important to match up the size of this tungsten body with the diameter of wire that's on the jig hook, or else it's going to be really hard to get to sit there. Alright, so I've got this tungsten body on my jig hook, and I just kind of line up the notch in the bottom of the tungsten body and hold my thread kind of loosely with my fingers and then just start wrapping around it. Now I'm not going to want to crank down too much. I just kind of want to get it to the point where I can adjust it and move it around. I'll trim off my thread. Now you're going to want to wrap thread on this back half of this tungsten body, and the thread wants to slide down. So what I like to do is get it, see, if that happens, just kind of adjust it around and move it to where you want. Okay, so it's on there pretty well. I'm going to take some super glue and dab the super glue on the thread and also on the back half of this, and then just kind of all over where it touches the hook shank so that it will stay in place. Once the dubbing's on there, it's not going to go anywhere, but you just want to make sure. So this is probably the hardest part of tying with these tungsten bodies, is if you put too much tension right here, your thread will want to slide down off the back of the body. So you go minimal tension until you get several wraps on there, and the super glue will help it stay in place. So at this point, I'm ready to start tying the fly. Got a little flyer here. Okay, so this fly is really simple. It's just a tail with two colors of dubbing. But dubbing over the top of this tungsten body can also be kind of challenging. So first thing I'm going to do is tie in the tail on this fly. Is just some black rooster feathers. Saddle hackle, adjust them to length. They should be about like that. You could probably use Coq de Leon on this if you wanted, but we're using black here. This is actually a fulling mill fly that's in their catalog. So once the tail's tied in, I'm going to start dubbing the body. Now this is dubbed with ice dub, and ice dub is notoriously hard to dub in small. So what I'm going to do is I'll take my ice dub and just kind of put a light layer on my thread. Just kind of dirty the thread a little bit. You can see that it's not the tightest dubbing rope ever. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bring my thread up, and I've created a dubbing loop. So essentially one side of the loop is dubbed and one side is not. From here I'll take my thread up to where I want the body to end, and incoming the trusty dubbing twister. So I've been using this CNF top twister quite a bit. I'll just put that in there and twist it up, and as you'll see, this dubbing noodle gets really, really small and tight as I twist it up. So there I've got a real tight dubbing noodle, and I'll use the rotary feature on my vise to wrap this around the body. Now if your dubbing noodle's too thick, it's really going to make this fly get thick pretty fast. So about to right there. Don't break your thread, and if you do, save it. Boom. Pro move right there. Alright, so for the head, I'm just going to do the same exact thing. I'll just take a little bit of the hot spot color dubbing that I want to use. I'll dub it on my thread and then close it off in a loop. And not only does this technique really make a small loop, it actually adds a lot of durability to the fly. This one I'm not going to use the rotary feature because it's easy to get too far forward on these tungsten bodies and it will start slipping off the front of the fly. So there we are. I'll tie that off. And now all I need is a little whip finish. Okay, so you could go out and take this just as it is. That would be fine, but I like to kind of come in here and trim it down a little bit. The beauty of this style fly with those dubbing loops is the dubbing is not going to get, you know, more and more picked apart as you fish it. It should stay like that pretty much for the life of the fly. Super durable fly, and a really simple one. Once you practice those techniques and get used to tying with the tungsten bodies a little bit more, you can crank these out in no time.